Good morning, everyone. Hi, my name is Menachem Creditor. It is my honor to serve as scholar in residence for UJ Federation of New York. We come to you each morning, Monday through Friday, with some words of Torah, some songs, some hope, some togetherness, and it is my delight to welcome you to this space. Hope you are well, and it's good to see all of you. Let's see who will get the first good morning. We've got a bunch of us already signing on. Jeffrey Fisher, you win. You are the first good morning greeting. Maya, you are a close second. You are awarded significant numbers of rabbi points, which you can always cash in for more rabbi points. That's really all they're good for. Good morning, everybody. That is a lot of good mornings. Check that out. Here we are. It's good to see all of you. Let's give it a second, see who else. Gail, Mazel Tov, you made it 9 a.m. rather than 9 p.m. That deserves additional rabbi points. All right, everybody, here we go. Let's take a deep breath. Get ready for a good day. Good morning, everybody. Let me see, because for some reason the comments went away. Hi. Oh, it's so good to see you all. Can you feel a brand new day, Stephen? I gotta say I'm impressed. Good morning to everybody. It is good to see all of you, and it is a blessing, Felice, to be with you too. There is... Rush to get a comment to lunch. Should be Boker Tov, a great way to start the day. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So the last couple of days we've discussed certain parts of this week's Parsha, which is Pinchas. We've talked about the brokenness of his covenant with God since he resorted to violence in the name of his truth. We also looked at the equal distribution of land, which should be based on who lives there, not based on whose ancestors earned more or who, thank God, is succeeding in a business way. We should all have an equal claim to the land. That is incredibly important, all of this. I wanted to share what for me is one of the most important parts of Parshat Pinchas. It happens toward the end. In the ancient world, not just in the world of the Torah, when somebody died, I should be more careful. When a man died, since he was the one who owned the land for the family, it was in his name because of the way inheritance worked. The land would go to his firstborn son, a rule called primogeniture. You could use that for Scrabble someday. And if there were multiple sons, only the oldest child would earn the land. The other ones had to end up doing something else or getting a smaller portion of the land. That's one of the reasons that the world of the Torah is so radical. When you look at the way, especially in Genesis, things happen, the oldest son never inherits. It's a revolution over and over and over. Typically, it's the younger child, and that becomes even most clear when Joseph is born. that the younger child receives the lion's share of blessing. But that's also true when it comes to Jacob and Esau, who were twins. Jacob was born second and ends up on top through all sorts of things. So too with Ishmael and Isaac. Isaac is Abraham's younger son and ends up inheriting. So over and over and over, you see this kind of overturning of primogeniture, the idea that the older son will be the only one who inherits. But this week's Parsha takes it to a deeper and more important place, especially for our world today. So there's a man whose name is Tzlofchad. Again, Rabbi points if you can say that name. Tzlofchad. Okay. Tzlofchad dies without having any sons, but he has daughters. The rules of inheritance are set up in such a way that only sons inherit. Now, this is a really important part of the Torah because we don't let inherited tradition rest when we see it through new eyes. The evolving morality of the human community, Jewish and general human community, means that we are always looking at the Torah with open eyes. We're always looking at God with open eyes, and we don't treat ourselves or our neighbors or our daughters with less dignity. It's important to see when those values are in contrast or are in conflict. So the daughters of Tzlofchad they go to Moses and they say, our father died and he had no sons, he only had daughters. Why should his name be erased from this earth? Meaning, the inheritance that would have gone to a son would have carried forward a family name. Why doesn't a family name carry through for us? Why don't we inherit? This is revolutionary. Now, think about the different kind of leaders you know of. Either you've experienced, maybe you've been in a leadership role. Someone comes to you with a new question, a question that actually potentially undoes some of the tradition you've inherited. It threatens the status quo. Because remember, until that time that Tzlofchad's daughters asked Moses the question, only sons inherited. So number one, what kind of chutzpah they must have had? My father-in-law, Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, would have called that holy chutzpah. What holy chutzpah the daughters of Tzlofchad had to come forward and to challenge the status quo. And in that world, even though the Torah does have a progressive way of seeing women compared to its time, maybe not compared to this day that we live in, but compared to its time, the Torah is very forward-looking. Still, for a woman to come with that kind of claim, what bravery that takes, what chutzpah that takes. So the daughters of Tzlofchad go to Moses and they make the claim. Our father died, he had no sons. Why? Why shouldn't we inherit? Why should our family name disappear? So again, think about the different kind of leaders you've experienced in your life. There are some leaders who would say, I don't hear your question, I don't see you. Okay? Obviously that's gross and disrespectful, dehumanizing. There are other leaders who would say, I hear your question, but this is the way things are. Right? I forget who told me once that those are the last, I think, 7 dying words of a company or a corporation or organization. But that's how we've always done it. Right? I know leaders who speak like that, and change is certainly scary, but that's not a values-driven response from a leader. What Moses actually does is he says something even braver. Let me give you the third option that could have been. Right? One is, I don't see you. The other one is, this is how we do it, I'm sorry. The other one is, absolutely fine, without any process. What Moses does is even braver than any of those 3. He actually says, I don't know. A leader says, I don't know. Hi, Charlie. Good morning. What kind of a leader is that who says, I don't know? And the answer is a really good one. A really good leader is comfortable saying, I don't know. I need to find out. I'm not sure. That's a good question. I can't be the only source of wisdom here. Maybe you have wisdom that I don't. So Moses goes to God and says, what do we do? And God says, Cain, yes, appropriately have the daughters of Tzlofchad spoken. They should inherit too. So number 1, 3 cheers for God. 3 cheers for the Torah's story. 3 cheers for Moshe for being the kind of leader who is humble enough to say, I don't know. 3 cheers for the storytelling people that we are, for bringing forward a Torah, a sacred center that reveals wisdom that unfolds through time in the world. 3 cheers for a sacred center that continues to evolve. Just think about this. How wonderful is it that the Torah includes a story where the greatest prophet of all doesn't know the answer and God changes the Torah's rules? What an amazing tradition we have. What an amazing Torah we have. And what an amazing challenge we have in this world that is writhing right now. Writhing. There are so many things to point to. So many things to point to. Think about what this world could look like if we have leaders who will say, you're asking a new question and I don't know the answer, so I'm going to look for help. I'm going to be open to advice. Maybe change needs to happen, and not change, but let's talk about this and let's make a good decision, all of us together. I hear your righteous claim, says that leader. And it definitely does change the status quo. It threatens the things I understand. But maybe what I need to do is do a little bit of tzimtzum, a little bit of contraction, take it back, and even become a little bit more self-aware and ask myself some questions that might make me uncomfortable. But if I'm so comfortable and someone else is so uncomfortable, maybe the whole system's wrong. Maybe my comfort should make me wonder too. Why am I so comfortable and they are so not? The daughters of Tzlopchad are able to say something really important. This is not okay. We are here. Don't we count too? So similar to the theme that we pointed to yesterday, where the land needs to be equally divided, so too does honor and respect need to be universally distributed. So I just want to bless all of you with a big heart, a brave heart, an open mind. Thich Nhat Hanh famously once said, a conversation is what happens when 2 people meet and both are willing to change their minds. So I don't know how willing I am to change my mind, but I should be more ready to try. That's what this parsha teaches me. If Moses can say, I don't know, and God can change God's mind, let's reach for the stars. Let's see if we can do that together. So everybody, let's sing a little bit. Let's sing our way into a good day. Have a good day, everybody. Bless you. See you tomorrow at 9 o'clock.